So on your way in, now look, Royal Air Force, fire. Discovering a fire, try to put it out and shout for assistance. If no one responds, then return to fire, telephone, inform admin PPX of the location and type of fire, or close swing doors in corridors. So in here we've got some sort of electrical amp supply transformers. So this is some big old fuses, I think. Enfield Cables Limited. Up to 30 amps transformer supply. 60 amps on this one, or 80 rather, and 80 amp supply potential on that one. Up here we've got some earth fault relay, an overcurrent relay, Quite interesting stuff. And the Ammeter Switch has red, blue, yellow, so you can select which supply you wish to check. So that's this control here, so you can switch along and check how much power you're using in the bunker. So, you know, at 240 volts, 60 amps would be, so if we say 2468 says 4, so 464, probably about 20-30 kilowatts potential power per bank on here. So yeah, you make your way up the steps into the main bunker, and there is a winch here, and this main winch would have been operated to bring in heavy items from the lower ground level. And would have supplied anything from there, would have lifted it up, brought it along, dropped it off here, and they could have rolled it in, and anything they needed to get down, then we were told they would take off this rail, and they could then lift things using the main pulley here and get things down there by taking this rail off, we were told. So
most of the keys have unfortunately vanished. Although at one point I did have keys for most of these rooms.
go on, you're right.
And all the other men were in that side, and there's a serving hatch here, so this was just like a little canteen room.
Okay. Yeah, so you see us getting an image of like Walklin and stuff like that, because you know, it's, remember Chris, hatch in the corner, the kitchen behind it, there's another room on the other side.
That's right, with another hatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walklin had like a bar, it's like a serving bar staff in. Yeah.
But when I've had RAF people that used to serve here, they remember, you know, sitting in there having a cup of tea and a snack, and they said, they would never sit closest to the door because that's if somebody had to volunteer or they wanted somebody to do something. If you were sat next to the door, then you got dragged off to do something.
That's right.
So this room's pretty much original. And then we've got the little kitchen in here, and another serving hatch into the other room. But interestingly, they never had cooked meals in here because the RAF domestic camp was back in the village in Marlborough,
Small labour ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just something to do with the
Construction and stuff, isn't it?
Sounds hot down there.
Yeah, I missed this last time, wasn't it? Didn't see this last time. Must have been door shut. Because like even the other bunk we went to, it was all grease and stuff in the extraction. There was like a section of extractor fans and stuff.
That old fashioned soap dispenser.
Stuff in it.
Ooh.
Smeggy.
What are you going to do with that?
Smeg. Nothing. You're stuck with it now.
Operational building, so nobody ever, none of them ever slept in here.
I love those chairs. They remind me of something. Being somewhere with chairs like that.
Yeah, most of these chairs are being imported into the place. There's not many. There were 2 or 3 original chairs left, but these are mainly odd ones that were imported. They usually, I'll show you next door, they show films in some of these rooms, you know, so I have it all laid out and chairs to show So they have 2 rows here, and they can simulate, it's like a simulator, so they can simulate stuff coming up on the screen that were aircraft coming. So it was just a kind of a training room. And these were air-cooled. They used to have to bring up a lot of cool air to the monitors because they got very hot. And also they had to get rid of the hot air that was coming off the old monitors. And again, it's just the same teak flooring, and you can try and, you can open these hatches and see underneath. This is a later edition. This room would have been gone down at the depth of the building, and there would have been cabins along here with glass windows in, and they would have looked over into the operational room down below. But this is just they added on this floor and changed the layout of some of these rooms here.
Sneak through. Cheers.
That was the original RAF layout room, so this was one big space that went down to the lower floor. And this was the officers' rest room in here. And then they did have some more offices here, which long since they took down the stud wall, but the original wall would have gone along here. But probably, it's not been painted, or hardly any painting's been done, and this is how it was left when the Howell was moved out in the 90s.
Nice choice of colour.
Weird colour choices, I know some of them are.
I've never seen what yellow would work in bulk yet.
And again, these are just office spaces they've made. And again, you can see where the original rooms were. And there's a set of double doors there. You can see the corridor just been blanked off. Okay, yeah. But the doors are still there.
You can see the hinge in the corner, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's 3 or 4 big safes like that. Sadly, they're almost worthless.
You can't get enough to move them, that's the trouble with them. No.
They're a nightmare to move.
Keeper out.
Sadly, no. I've had a safe engineer here a couple of times because we opened a safe that was in one of the other rooms, a big safe like this, that had never been opened. And when I first got hold of him, he said, "Oh, if you want me to, I can drill a hole in the top and put a camera in." And so he put a camera in. The safe was full up with paperwork. So when eventually he drilled it and got the safe open, and there was loads of paperwork in there but it was mainly from the 60s. It wasn't more recent stuff. I've got that at home now.
Anything exciting?
Oh yeah, no. They had all the I've got all the room cards that went in these slots.
Yeah.
Because when the Home Office had it, if it was going to become operational, then all the different rooms had different departments in, and I've got all the cards that went in all the doors. So now I know better than before what each room was used for. As I've not been doing tours and things, I've not gone back and started, putting in. I've got in there also was a floor diagram of the 2 floors, and it said exactly who was in which government department or in each room. Which one day, if they ever did turn it into a museum, would be really interesting to,
Whoever the next owners are want to do that.
I don't know. Owners want to turn it into a hotel.
I'm not going to manage that though, are they?
I don't think so. I mean, from what they've had talks with the listed building place, the listed building people in the council are not. They don't want them to change anything in here. So I'm not quite sure. They're talking more about building stuff outside, but whether they'll get permission for that is a bit of an odd thing at the moment.
Thanks. They're all hanging back there, having a look a sec.
That's all right.
Big old doors, yeah. These emergency to the outdoors.
Sorry?
Do these go to the outdoors?
They don't exactly. No. I'll show you, but just there's a couple of rooms here.
Yeah.
There's a little one as well.
That's the door through to the other side of that place.
All right. Yes, that's the ones that are blocked off.
This is the other side of the canteen.
Right.
And sadly, again, somebody years ago stored their belongings here, and then somebody broke in about 6 months ago. So that's how it got trashed.
Yeah.
Well, this would have been the government minister who would have been in charge of the bunker. This would have been his office. And I've read that he would be the only one that would sleep in here, and that was his sleeping quarters just across there.
And a great serving hatch as well.
Sorry.
Because again, you kind of look at this and you think, well, why has this room got a basin and a loo thing, And over the years, I've tried to research and find out. The regional commissioner was supposed to. This was going to be his kind of sleeping quarters.
What's the door there for then?
That was. This is a conversion from RAF days, and that used to go through. They had the ladies' loo was in there, but now it's been changed to the men's. You would go in a different door. So all they've done is just blank that off.
Yeah.
But if we go in the side next door, rather. This is currently the men's loo.
Okay. Thanks. All the red spots on the wall still
Yeah.
from the party.
Yeah. So there used to be a door coming through here. And I think this was closed off across here. There's been some alterations and created this sort of one big men's loo.
Hot water.
Yeah, really. It's quite standard. This Home Office
Immersion heater.
spent a lot of money.
What's the spots?
But keeping these loos working when I used to do it was quite hard work.
How many people? It's like a public toilet. It's like how many people would you expect to go for a toilet once?
And it's bigger than a pub toilet, isn't it?
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I think when they heard that air raid siren, there'd be a lot of people going to the toilet. Yeah.
Number ones and twos.
Yeah.
That's a cool dog.
Yeah. I need that for my shirt. I'm going to do it wrong.
That's the air intake there. So when you look outside, if you go around, you'll see the big grills. And it's got a kind of a glass protection, so there's a kind of void down below, and then the air, the air comes in from in there.
Sorry.
And then if they'd had to shut the place down, if the bomb went off, they could put some absolute filters in there that would filter out the polluted air.
Right.
And they had the same setup here. I've got this shut off at the moment because the people that owned it never used to lock up properly, so people were able to break in through there. But the air would have come in through here and then through these louvers there. And then when we go downstairs, you'll see all the plant room equipment down there. That's the absolute filters there.
It's a transformer.
Yeah, several of those.
We'll keep them on the long keep and people nicking cables, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. So that's the access to, that eventually goes to where the generator room is. But I have to keep that shut because, again, somebody broke in down the corridor.
Is that somewhere you'll be able to open the first later or the generator room?
The problem is, what's happened is when somebody broke in, believe it or not, they nick the bloody, they pinch the lights, you know those metal lights with the, enamelled, pinched all the bloody lights. So I haven't got any lighting in there at the moment, and there's big holes where the hatches are up, and so without setting up proper lighting, I can't. It's a bloody nightmare to go down there. But you're welcome. You can wander around from the outside and see quite a bit from the outside. Yeah, unfortunately, a couple of years I wasn't looking after it. It got trashed by different people. Because the current owners, in a bit of time they'll. Because they're quite keen to have some of it as a museum.
So it'd be nice, so when you do stuff like that, a lot of people are willing to volunteer to come and help tidy places up and paint things and whatever needs doing.
Yeah. But it's at the moment it's a bit sad because it's all a bit, uncared for. This is another set of loos in here. These were the officers' loos. There's more loos in here, more showers. Yeah. Again, if you look at the different structures, they're all pretty. You see that now electrical layout. Whether it's an R3 or R4,
Flat
almost identical.
The secret vault.
This is
Yeah.
I think even if you compare this to some like Kelvin and Hatch or Hat Greens or some of and even Treleaver, you'll see the layouts are almost identical. It's quite interesting. And no things like this I always used to find intriguing. They went to the trouble of
curving the walls.
having curved, bricks, and all the expense they went to, these oak handrails must have been all custom made.
It's one of the things I like about these buildings, all engineered, to see that they it's fair building all these things.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And it's great at the moment, it's still here and hopefully it won't get trashed.
Like riveted ductwork, I did all that at college. I make ductwork.
went through the whole building, and there were only two things. There was he thought this should be kept shut off because they used to use asbestos in Artex, and so he thought that should be shut off. And the only other thing he looked at, we went outside to one of the old pump rooms, and there was a piece of stuff hanging down from the ceiling that must have been asbestos. And he just, when he looked at that, he just leapt back and went, Christ, nobody should go anywhere near that.
That's not a lot though. Overall.
But that's from the whole building. Yeah. There's lots of people think, there must be loads of asbestos in here. This does flood from time to time. I came one Christmas and New Year to do an open day, and I came in and it was flooded up to the first step, this whole lot. And a friend of mine's in the fire brigade, and he said, oh yeah, give them a ring, so they'll come up and pump it out. And so they came out, took one look at it, said, oh, we can't use our pumps in here because they're a petrol engine one. So I had to pump it out myself. So I had a pump here, I'll show you when we go into the plant room. And I had to pump the water from here to the plant room. And in there there's you'll see there's a sort of a point where all the water's supposed to go, and then there's a pump there that pumps it to the outside. So for some reason, with this bit flooding, it kind of provides the reasoning is actually something that they've got in the trunk room. Because it flooded right the way back under the floor, right back into the operations room.
It's how drafty it is, isn't it?
Sorry? Pardon?
It's amazing how drafty it is.
Oh yeah.
Considering underground that.
Yeah, no, the air's coming in up the top there.
Yeah.
I suppose you think about it, it's in use and your doors are shut. When the doors are shut, you've got the seals on.
You see the air intake.
Yeah, you see the air intake would have been coming in into the trunking at the top here and coming down this trunking into the plant room. And when you go in the plant room, you'll see all the equipment there, because that's completely original from 1950s.
So this is the bit that was behind the cage?
Yeah. But I think when they shut all the doors, that would have acted like one big air duct, and they would have channeled, the air would have been drawn into these louvers upstairs and then pushed down the trunking. Because from what I've read, the climate control, the relative humidity had to be controlled quite strictly in here, especially when they had the radar stuff in here. When they closed down, so that's why all the engineers, everything was maintained, strictly maintained, and there were cupboards all along here with all the paperwork in. So every single piece of equipment had to be signed off, and they were doing it monthly.
Job sheet.
Johnny was a chimney.
Sorry?
Hazard equipment.
Yeah, there was loads of stuff like that. All those job directory.
I'll see you
I reckon
later.
maybe 5 minutes an advert, isn't it?
Yeah? You gotta look at it.
I'm going to, but Wednesday, we could love.
That's amazing to find out.
I think that's adverts are.
Yeah, our maintenance of diesel engines.
So give it to us while I like.
Withdraw each injector.
You might see stuff like that survive though.
Yeah.
I just want to move in.
Bring here beds and that kettle.
Plenty of beds.
Beds there, really room for it.
There's a lot of randomness.
I'm getting that in places like this.
90. 91. 88, that was when I was born.
Do you want to continue to talk for a minute or finish?
Just the second time we've done that, sorry.
Got that way.
This is the original plant room. This was when they built it.
So it's dangerous if you touch it.
Good to see with the lights on.
Awesome. Come a long way as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I had some people down from, I don't know if you've seen the one at RAF Exeter, the North East England. That is a completely underground one. I think it's an R3, but their plant room is identical to this, absolutely identical. And the guys that used to run it came down to look at this for me. And if you look at their plant room online, it's like this, but it's absolutely immaculate. But they said they couldn't, because of the power drain or the power uptake that this takes, they couldn't afford to run it every day.
Yeah.
So they used to use portable air conditioning equipment and then just run this up once a month. Because when you see the size of the... it's quite good though, it's still used. Yeah, it's generally in pretty good order. If you look in here, the main pad. This is the main air conditioning now.
Filters.
See, that's very similar to one of the ones you went with the R3U, isn't it?
Yeah, I bought one. Yeah, all that. And this one's at the backup. So I'm just relying on the valve. Switch the valves over.
Sorry, go on in.
No.
Oh. Right.
They're very expensive to run.
Yeah, they're probably not energy efficient nowadays.
No,
really.
no. And I've often thought that when this building was running at full power, you'd almost imagine that Mulville, the villages, were all...
They probably use more than the rest of the village.
Yeah.
Well, they quite often had their own substation, didn't they?
Yeah, there is a substation you'll see just outside.
Is that big block as you drive in?
You'll see it's got Western, it's got a substation on it. Because everything, it's all phase 3 here with electric.
Yeah.
Carry on through and turn right there. That's the main reservoir. And I think the idea is that any watering presses are supposed to end up here, and you see it's nearly full. So when it flooded at the other end, I was pumping water into here, and then because this is the switch thing was clapped out, and it was supposed to be an automatic float switch,
Right.
which is all not functioning. So what I had to do was hotwire this to get this. There's a bilge pump thing in there, and then it pumps out through here and goes outside somewhere.
Is that pretty deep down there?
Sorry?
Pretty deep.
No, it's only probably about. You're welcome to lift it up. It's only about 3 feet.
Oh yeah,
3
you see a
4
lot on
feet.
there.
Yeah.
It's a big version of an ROC sump, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But it's just the only way of operating this now is by. I used to run an extension lead in and had it wired in there. But that's the only way of pumping water out at the moment.
Hasn't this one got like a sump in the main bit over there? There's like a circle part.
I haven't seen
Remember
another sump.
The one in
Just gonna look at your
Waltley,
blank, please.
the road kept going down.
Oh,
Remember? Below the steps that took you to the top. The broom went down.
No, I thought that was in the plant room.
That was in the plant room, yeah, just through there.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like
No, I
that.
didn't notice it.
There's a mat down, I don't know if it's underneath that. It was quite,
No,
it seemed like it was quite dangerous. It's got to be on the battleship.
So these have obviously built this somewhere, but where is that what's drawn there?
The air would come in through here
This is a
and
cooling system.
suck into these like bags,
Yeah, and then this is must go through it
and that chills it, yeah. Chills it or warms it.
Maybe it's got 2 stages. You've got cool and you've got a real up there.
Yeah. Backs of the filters. Yeah. They're all in. There's another room in there. Heater room.
Actually access the whole that panel, you know.
Well, we looked at the place yesterday with a big switch game. You can pull the front away to get to the back of it, but it wasn't a walking one like that.
No. What's that to get on?
Yeah, you can walk in there.
Goes up and takes you on the top. Done the old little extra.
Yeah, there's the
Dynamo.
The battle
Yeah.
tanks there which were full of water. There's something to do with the air conditioning. I'm not quite sure on the technical side of how it all works.
That's just the same, around there in the cupboard, you can get behind all this, like that, you know.
Oh, right.
Folded down yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wouldn't want to be walking in behind all this. That's quite a lot to not touch.
Slightly different gases and technology.
Yeah, I understand there's some not very nice chemicals in some of these compressors here.
That's the keys for him.
Everything was, I understand, when it was working as a home office place, every single room was locked, and the only access was allowed, you had to have a signed chip, and then you were only given the key to that single room that you were allowed to go into, and all the other rooms were absolutely locked all the time.
Why do they keep it so tightly secured? Yeah.
It's just the mentality of the home office, they kept, the super secret.
The policy was kind of you only knew if you needed to know.
Everybody that was involved with this had to sign the official secrets out. My stepfather was a telecom engineer, and he used to come in here and do maintenance work, but I would have never known about it when I was growing up.
Which is what we're saying, we were saying the other day, running a lot of these places, there's a lot about, and sort of people have asked me before, you don't know about bunkers and that, how come you never knew about it? It's because if you don't know, back then people would have told them they would keep if they knew, they would have kept them
They're not allowed, they would never have talked about it, because if you broke the official secrets out, then I think
You're that song a few times.
I've decided to not people at work.
Is that battery?
No, it wasn't up to that. I've found talking to people, some from years ago that work here, some people would talk happily about it, other people would say,
They still won't even like today,
I even had one chap in Dartford who used to work here, I spoke with him, and he didn't even come over. I said, would you come over one day? Not interesting at all.
Trouble, I guess if you were one of the guys at this station down there, working down there, it's just something you did there,
Oh,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it
To
was
us,
just like a regular job.
to us it's fascinating.
Yeah,
It's
it
not-
was just a job. My stepfather was a telephone engineer in Kingsbridge, and he came out here, it was just part of the job.
Spare belts.
It
said Hope Cove on one of them.
That bloke on that digger has been in that field for a long, long time. I wonder what's going on in there.
He used to, I've got photographs of the cat was grazing around the grass outside. Hope Cove, spare. Yeah, they all pretty much knew that.
That's good.
Was that in the up to the 90s, a bit like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was written by
Chilmark people who
Yeah, this
knew
is
where it
people
was.
fitting this place out. Well, there as well,
It's
huh?
been a big radar station in military, then we converted it in the 90s with the nuclear threat change, bombs got bigger.
So a bit like the lady going, oh yeah, that was that.
Where we're from, just down the corner, we took you through there yesterday, is Chilmark,
Yeah,
Chilmark,
yeah.
that was a mouse when they had the bill, wasn't it? 900 million it cost to build that. Yeah, Matthew's been lucky enough to get around inside the actual Chilmark bunker.
And top
The
of
one that when they were growing.
That's the one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is the one.
Yeah.
It seems to be a story every time you read
Yeah,
about a bunker,
most of these-
then you read about someone who's been growing something in there.
We've been Slate Clay, they've grown in there, there's a place in Caution, they've grown in there, just
Yeah.
every bunker.
You found one yesterday, didn't you? And you were reading about it. Or was it?
It's a good place if you were doing it underground, because police would be less likely to look in underground than they would. But
Yeah, but they seem to get
nowadays,
caught a lot,
Ground
don't
for
they?
this place, you could have,
You never know,
nobody
it's
bothered
getting on,
you.
yeah.
Nobody would bother you.
Well, look how far out it is.
I was getting a bit worried then. I was starting to see lights lighting up on there then. Yeah, it looked like they were lighting
You
up.
had a torch behind
He had a torch there. I was like, hello, is there still power going through
You
it?
go stand behind there, I'll sit here and take some photos.
Get a picture, yeah, I'll quickly do it now.
Hold on, let me get my camera out. It'll be a minute.
You do it now.
I'll probably forget.
Hope Cove, and the airfield was RAF Bolt Head.
Okay.
But the original RAF Hope Cove was the building next door, and even when they started early in the war, they had mobile radar equipment here, and then eventually they built the Happy Drone next door. But it was quite interesting that RAF Hope Cove is nowhere near Hope Cove village.
I know it, I looked at it on the map, I looked, and I was trying to find a bunker on Google Earth, and I thought, well, when I eventually found it, it's around the other side, isn't it?
It's I've lived on a few army bases and they're never where they
Well, didn't they-
actually are named that
Well, I
way.
think that my only reasoning for them calling this RAF Hope Cove was that all the RAF personnel were billeted down in Hope Cove village, and maybe I think they just kind of used the name.
I was starting to think that, you see so many of these places we've been to, it says like it's Hope Cove, what we're saying, and it's slightly out, and I wonder if they've actually done it just as a bit of a decoy or...
I kind of think it's because they picked a name that they were familiar with, the fact that they were billeted in Hope Cove. That was my theory.
Even if you think of Wilton, that was a fair walk back into
Lancashire.
It's
I mean, this is only Bolt Head, and Bolt Head itself is the actual promontory out there.
Yeah.
And this is SOAR, S-O-A-R, so, they could have called it RAF SOAR.
Yeah.
The issue is
That's the big yeah.
41.
All cool, yeah. Should go behind it. So yeah, that's what they do, right? Yeah. It's because that's a decent building.
There's a lot more history.
Get all fun labels and stuff. Especially this sort of stuff. You can do intrigue little bits. Best footage in existence.
Yeah, it's a shame really, having a building like that, it's like sat in an empty building, you might chuck some money in and get it nice and
Trouble is, so much money, but get these to the place.
There's a sense of steps as well.
Amazing.
In a straight line half a mile that way. And I think they see Salcombe as big money, so they think that this must be worth a lot of money. And that's how they look at it. Because if this bunker, there's one in Lincolnshire like this, an R6, it's a scrapyard. And same as the one at Tralee. I mean, nobody's ever done anything with that. Because it's, they're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Whereas this, because it's close to Salcombe, I think the people that bought it thought, oh, Salford, you know, it's 4 acres near Salford, that's got to be worth.
And then they didn't get off price.
Well, the bricks and mortar, I mean, if you had to buy that today,
Got bricks and mortar.
Oh, so some bricks.
This is all dark last time I was here, and the power wasn't working.
Right.
Tripped, fuses had gone.
Softly, you'll see black and white images of with a big table here. Yeah. And the cabins and things looking over onto it. But when the Home Office wanted to make more space, that's when they put this mezzanine, you know, this floor in to build up the floor above it and the one above that one. And sadly, when the people broke in, they stole one of the maps. There used to be 3 maps.
It's ripped across off the map there.
Yeah, I know. It's sad. It's almost, the bits of here that could be repaired. It's sad.
what's noticed that the marks of that
The ST is a region, so Ordnance Survey use a strange sort of thing, so ST, that goes into Wiltshire actually is ST.
Oh, is that codenamed?
Yeah, like Chippenham, you know, is ST, and then you go further over your SU. So you can actually get coordinates where you type ST and then it's 00 and then comma and 000 or whatever, and those 3 numbers refer to which square you're in, and you can actually break it down. It's like an alternative to latitude and longitude for the Ordnance Survey.
There's so much space here.
I've seen Dinton, Salisbury down there. Mountain Devil, Warminster Chrome.
Salisbury.
Font of Bishop, Chilmark.
Yeah. Wilton. But these marks here are showing regions of control, I think. So it's showing it's a control region. So this would have been, you know, probably dealt with by one regional control in this area, all the way up to this area and across. So all that was dealt with by one regional control.
Special light up here for some sort of alarm or something.
We did a bit of video at Small Beer Control Centre. We had a look in there yesterday. They turned that into like a music studio for use, and that's like, you know, it's sad that they've taken all the original equipment out of it. It's nice to see it's been used for something.
Yeah.
And they gave it equivalent to a music. So
Yeah, well,
they
they
didn't
could-
just
yeah.
skip it.
So that would, the small steps would have been the overlook, yeah.
No lights or anything.
I know.
I'm not sure.
This is where the guys started trashing the place.
Right.
Two rooms here.
Some heavy duty doors here.
It's still nice to see it.
Oh God. This is where one of the previous owners has been doing a bit of demolition.
People saw the damage it does and then got straight onto it, got it listed. It's good. I mean, it's you know, I know what the layout is and what it was, and it's all repairable.
It's just a pain.
I don't know if do you follow Barnes & Corey, the one in Scotland?
Oh, we know, but yeah, I think.
Well, they're actually, that one is amazing, the work they've done there, and they're refabricating all this sort of ducting.
Right. Yeah, I think we've seen some pictures of that.
Looks like they had no objective. They were like, hang on a minute, we'll go that way.
Just destroy everything.
He was going to cut a 12-foot square hole there, and the idea was that he would bring wine boxes in on a forklift, and then they would come in here and then be stored all over the place. But there wasn't very much thought gone into it. And the guys that came to cut the hole in the wall did a test drill hole there, and that when you go around the outside, you'll see that's about a foot or so off the ground level outside. So it was tragic when that happened.
So we're not really deep, we're not underground, are we?
You'll
But then I
see.
suppose we went upstairs to get in.
Well, this on this level, you probably I don't know, you're probably 6 foot, possibly underground. Taking the cameras over here.
Yeah.
When you're on the lower level, like you are when you go through here, I guess you're probably about 12 feet underground.
I was a bit worried that the BBC studio still there. That BBC studio.
Yes, that's the original, not being touched.
You see in here, they cut the all the vents and things.
Yeah, the ducting just went all the way along.
Yeah.
Along there.
It's a shame, though.
This is the BT switch box, and this is sort of from the 80s. And when I got the phone line reconnected here, if it wasn't for this setup, the owners would have had to have paid to have the phone line reconnected.
Right.
But when BT came, they told me that because this was here and installed, that they were mandated, if the owners of this wanted a telephone line, they were mandated to reconnect it at their own expense, not the expense of the owners of the bunker. It took me 2 years to get the phones reconnected, but I did eventually, with a lot of work, because the cabling had been damaged underground.
Right.
Because the first engineer who came here put his pulse thing on here, and he could see straight away there was a break in the line, not very far away, sort of 100 yards that way. So it took me 2 years, but eventually I got them to dig up one of the old manholes outside that had been ploughed up, and they were able to find the cable and they were able to repair it.
So.
But they said that they reckon there was 400 telephone lines coming into this place from 2 different telephone exchanges. And it took me 2 years to get one telephone line connected. But the idea was, as I understand it, going from 2 telephone exchanges. If one went down, they could still back it up with the other telephone exchange. So they got one in South Milton and the other one's in Salcombe that feed this place. which again confused the BT people, because you get a TQ7 postcode and you expect that the telephone line's going to come from Kingsbridge, so they'd come with a Kingsbridge instruction, and of course it won't work because this is fed from South Milton, which is a totally different exchange. It took a long time for them to realise that. And when they come with their laptops, you know, the BT engineer opens up his laptop, and this bunker area is just a blank. There's nothing on the screen, because apparently because it was a highly secret, they had to go through another level of security to get the information for this place. So for most of these BT engineers, this didn't come on their radar screen. Another level. This is
This bit reminds me of Calvin. There's a little bit like this in Calvin, isn't it?
But all these home office bunkers had BBC studios in.
BBC studio.
This thing's sort of damn. Someone's put the fire thing in. It's really been abused.
This is the BBC.
Yeah. Broadcasting. You're all doomed.
Yes. Tune in to IKS.
How you doing, folks?
Yeah, this is the closest we'll ever get to the BBC, really, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. There's too many channels now, isn't there? So BBC, they're a bit too low for us now, though.
Yeah. I haven't got the detail.
That's it.
Yeah.
Not much of a budget.
So I don't know if you were at home under your bed when the bomb went off and listening to this, whether you'd have had a incoming noise in the background. I don't know.
I think that'd be the least of your worries, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was very much, you know, you had to listen to local radios to get all your information, much as you do today. You know, something goes off here, they tell you to listen to Radio Devon to get any updates and what have you. And it was exactly the same in the 60s. I think the idea was that the bomb had gone off, they were going to broadcast to people that were stuck at home and tell them stay indoors and, you know, you'll be safe.
Hold on to your roof.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Cheers. Oops, daisy, sorry.
Doors it.
I just love letting those doors go. They make a nice loud bang.
Oh no, I reckon that was in there was the studio, because there's the red light. Yeah, they're broadcasting, so they'll be able to tell from in here.
This was the production room where they had all the equipment, probably.
This would be good for the editing room.
For you.
Yeah, from here. I'll sleep in there. This would be the computers. Just these two rooms would be fine.
Yeah.
Where are the rest of the bunker out?
That's good, isn't it? I'm so happy I didn't touch this. These bloody vandals who've done that to that. Those other rooms. That's criminal, that is. It really is.
Duncan. So these goes bang.
Yeah, because again, this is all blacked out.
Secured doors. More secured.
And then the council lost the keys, and when the bunker went to open up, they got a locksmith in, and he basically drilled holes in the bit. It took him 6 days to get through the lock.
Yeah.
And as we go look at it now, there's all holes all over the door where he everybody's been trying to get in.
Well, unfortunately, when they had an art exhibition here, they wanted to use this door, and it was locked, and there's no keys for these doors. And so the bloody bloke who came in just hacked down there with a bloody, grinder and cut the bloody thing. So, but it's things like that. Slightly, it's repairable, but it's just more.
Annoyance, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's a pretty solid door.
Yeah.
This room during the Home Office days was where the switchboard was.
Right.
So there was one of those wire plugging.
Yeah.
I've got a photograph from this room, and there's a switchboard all the way on there with the switchboard operators sat at it. It must have been during one of the training weekends, because there's a couple of girls in civilian dress, and there's a couple in military uniform.
Right.
And my stepfather stood in the corner. That was before everything went digital.
Yeah.
And when it went digital, as I understand it, that's when they moved all the equipment into that other room.
Right.
But I've got black and white photographs of this room as it was in the 60s. So,
Do you think it was always yellow?
sorry?
Do you think it was always yellow?
No, this was done for an art exhibition. Before, you could just see bits of it. It was a kind of pale magnolia colour.
Must have been a challenge in the ceiling for that.
But this is the most difficult room to maintain, because at one point I used to change all the fluorescent tubes and all the starters for all the fluorescent tubes, and this was the only room I really struggled with, because there used to be a real tall set of step ladders that I could go up, but even then when you got to the top,
Yeah, on your own, yeah.
and on a bloody great step ladder, I didn't like it at all. So that's why I never changed the tubes. What you need is a scaffold tower really on wheels. But this is by far the most difficult room to maintain. But there's lots of people locally, BT engineers, telephone engineers, that came up here in the 60s and worked. There's a guy in Yampton near Plymouth, and he's in his 80s now, and he's been back, and I've given him a tour around, and we keep in touch, and he was actually involved in the engineering work here in the 60s, in the mid-60s. And it was him that gave me the negatives of the photographs, because they were taken illegally. As he said, he had to confiscate the film from the bloke who took the pictures, but he managed to hang on to them and then gave them to me all those years later.
That is good.
But you pick up all this information over a number of years. It doesn't come very easily.
No.
It's taken me years to, you pick up little bits of information. And when people come to visit, there's a lot of ex-RAF people who've come back to visit. And every time I'd always keep asking them for photographs. And the one guy came one year and he had photographs of when he was doing his national service here. And he had photographs taken outside of him sitting on the fence of the radar plinths that used to be here. But that's pretty rare. You'll see in all the other RF bunkers, the staircases are identical.
Yeah.
It's quite incredible, the uniformity. They must have, designed them to an absolute strict set pattern.
Well, I guess if you're getting someone to design something, it's easier to keep the designs all the same. You have to have multiple designs and cost.
Just tweak it slightly for if it's above ground, underground.
Well, I've got drawings at home, the original ones that Mott-Hay did for some of these buildings and for this building. And it's the only way I was able to reconnect the phone line, because I've got a planned drawing of the layout of the whole site, and it's very accurate. You can go outside with a measuring wheel and you can measure off from the drawing, and you'll hit all the manholes exactly as they are on the plan. And that was the only way I was able to track where the telephone lines went, because otherwise you'd be clutching in the dark.
Yeah. You need a metal detector or something, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I tried that when I was excavating that bunker over at the RAC post to try and find where the entrance hatch was. I used a metal detector, but because people had been dumping stuff up there,
you just find loads of stuff.
We were finding loads of nails and screws and things, and it was going beep, beep, beep. You get excited and scratch away, and then you find another screw, another nail.
What was that room behind there? Was that a battery room or something like that?
Yeah, if you're welcome to have a wander down there. Yeah, there's the old batteries on that side,
right?
Which were for the backup lighting.
Yeah.
So the idea, as I understand, was if the mains power went down, there would be a lag between the generator kicking in and powering up the lights.
Right.
And so the idea, I think, was that the batteries would hold, lighting for a certain length of time until the generator kicked in.
Yeah.
Because in the drawings and the engineer's description, if there was a mains power cut, one of the generators was supposed to fire up straight away, but I imagine that there would be a lag of some sort when it would have been pitch black, and I guess that's why the batteries would be for the emergency lighting, whereas now you see the lighting, it's only on the top floor. That's fairly new. That was put in probably about 10 years ago.
Right.
That's connected to the mains, and the idea those get powered up. The longer they're on, the longer they'll last. If you come in, if the mains fail, if you'd only been in 10 minutes, those would only last a couple of minutes.
Right.
But if you've been here for an hour or two, then I'm not sure how long they last, but they do last quite a long time.
Let's say our place where I work, we've got backup generators.
Yeah.
And when someone needs to cop all the cables out of the ground, the pikeys or whatever, back in the day, they didn't fire up. So you had to get the engineer in to sort them out. So a place like this, if something like that happened, it could be quite bad.
Yes. I mean, they were highly maintained. They had engineers here all the time. And so from what the engineer's notes are very, very detailed. Right. And as I read, one of the generators was supposed to fire up straight away, and then they had to switch in the switch room down the end. They had to switch over from mains power to generators. Then they would fire up the two generators, and they were supposed to run. They needed two generators running together to power the place. But like you say, if it would have been catastrophic if that generator didn't fire up.
And these new ones, these are brand new ones.
Yeah.
So they failed.
Yeah, because everybody's lives who were in here depended on those generators.
Yeah. I reckon those ones are probably much better than the things we got.
Yeah. But
nowadays, isn't it? So.
I often used to, when I was taking people around, if you thought there's supposed to be, this was manned by 250 people, civil servants, and if you got 200 people in here and they're all relying on that generator, I often used to think that if the lights started to dim or that generator started misfiring, because if that goes, then pretty much if the air's polluted outside, they're dead, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I can't imagine the mental stress of being in here and that generator started coughing and spluttering or something.
Just keep let the engineers know about it, just keep people quiet.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But there's some black and white documentaries from the 60s or 70s about what would have happened if everybody had to go into a bunker. And if you watch that, it's about half an hour, and it's bloody interesting.
Was that sound an alarm?
Something like that.
Protect and survive.
Something, it's very interesting.
So it's Royal Observer Corps.
Yeah.
So group headquarters, they go into something like that.
Yeah. But it's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the 1960s.
And you can see that somebody phones in and says, oh, there's some looting or something going on somewhere or other, and they've said, oh, you have to send the army to,
Yeah.
And they were supposed to bloody kill them, if they were looting or doing something they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Civil unrest.
Like the war game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Hopkins,
yeah,
shooting losers and
yeah.
stuff like that. It's crazy.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, yeah, I had one. That's great, thank you.
Oh, thanks very much. Put that in there. Yeah, well,
Oh, I can give it to me now.
I've only got 4, so
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
You want to do that now then?
May as well, then I don't
Do
have
it,
to
do you want to phone up?
Keeping you up to...
I've never noticed it before.
You want about the smell of burnt plastic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just in the one room, I think, wasn't
Yep.
it?
Yeah, I'll help yourself.
Thank you.
There's a pressure thing here. It's going up and down. It's got water and mercury or something in it. You see it's going up and down?
Oh, yeah. Go on there, Lee. Gauge liquid.
You see the liquid going up and down. Bizarre.
yeah.
She doesn't know, so try not to run it away, so...
You'll edit it anyway.
Yeah, they edit it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Can you see what's down there for you?
It goes down and then along. That's why it's scouts down.
Men's toilets, I think we looked down there, didn't we? Yeah. Oops. Try to remember to edit that bit out. the wind blast. Antenna mast points there. Yep. Air intake. Backs of the fans. Here, so it seems like a side piece. It's got like a security door and a side entrance, possibly. And oops, this is a bit rusted, but they've got an old fan intake here as well. Some old vents. Small vents. Two intakes, two sets of fans, and seemingly going into some of this here. Another fan system here. Prepare for blast. Going around the side of this building here now. actually sealed. So, sort of drain. Got fuel containers here, fuel containing. So here we are we're on the northern side, I suppose, of the bunker now. And you've got two rather large fuel tanks. Now that walkway seems to go into the back of the bunker, to the corner over there. It seems to sort of come through from this building, which I assume is an outdoor generator. It seems to come up to this point here. So, whoa, lost my hat. There goes my hat. It's that windy here. It's really windy. I'll just tie this off, I think. Coming past again. Some ventilation holes. Got the length of the bunker, which is quite substantial, as you can see, from that end to that end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. Some sort of pressure container here, some sort of steam pressure container, possibly, sort of hot water perhaps, and some sort of pump going here. And this was petrol driven pump here. You can see some sort of, choke mechanism there. So some sort of petrol pump. And also got some electrical gear on the walls and a thermometer. So this was obviously temperature controlled. And we've got a sluice open and close, and I believe this is the fuel container. So the fuel container, we actually fed it. Some unusual little sort of, don't know what that does. Interesting. Stopcock. Fuel would run down through the pipe and obviously come into here and run this little bit of equipment, which was obviously doing something with this. We've got some keys here, key cupboards, secure keys. Yeah. And an old radiator, electric radiator to keep this room warm as well, but that's rusted through. That would have been to sort of maintain temperature in here to make sure that it didn't get We've got some sort of water container here, which is obviously a little, I think it's a water container, but it's got a little So on your way in, now look, Royal Air Force, fire, discovering a fire, try to put it out and shout for assistance. Understand a little bit better. Yeah, these look like the air intakes then, these, are they?
Exhaust.
That's the exhaust, right, okay.
Yep.
And the intakes, are they underneath the building on the end?
The air intake is on the opposite corner.
Ah, right, yeah.
We can walk back round that way.
Yeah. Because I could see there's these things underneath, like little sort of vent intakes. Yes, I had a little look. So are they? Are those the intakes on the floor? No.
These are air coolers.
Coolers, right.
You see,
Yep.
they go almost to the full height of the building.
Yep.
And as I understand it, they were pulling in air into those.
Right.
But it was only for cooling the air
Right.
before it went into the main building.
Right, I see.
So they're not that's not the fresh air intakes.
No. Okay.
It's purely just.
Yeah, they have like fins in there, and this stuff comes in and out,
Yes.
but doesn't actually get into the building, so that's just cooling.
It's cooling, and then.
Yeah, and the
once
actual air is
once it's
cooled by.
It gets drawn into the system, and then,
Yeah.
as I understand it, the cooling, the hot air, is then sent out that way.
Right.
Out of that grill.
Gotcha.
It's just completely rusted and.
Yeah, this used to be steel bars. You're saying, yeah.
Vertical steel bars all the way along.
Yeah, so it would have been a secured area
Oh, yeah.
into this, and salt air's got at this.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the time out to show us that bit. Yeah.
Some historical photographs of a lot of these sites. They all had separate. The generator block was usually detached from the main building.
Right.
This had another generator in it, and as I've been told by the electricians that this generator was purely to supply the BBC studio.
Ah, right. Okay.
And the first owners wanted a generator for somewhere else, so they cut this open and then took out the generator.
Ah.
But I know where it is, and it's gone to a local football club now. So I had dreams of retrieving it, one day. But so that's the story of this bit. And these two are the radiators for the generators that are in there.
Right. So they're keeping the they're cooling the generators basically.
Yes,
I see. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, identical to what if you had a radiator on the front of your car.
Yes. Yeah. So they've got pipe coming through.
Yes. Yeah.
Radiator grill.
Yeah.
And just cold air blasting through.
They're coming in from that way. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's, as far as I can see, it's identical to a radiator in the front of a car.
Yeah. So the warm air would have come through here and come back out.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. If you go, when we walk around to the side, there is an exhaust outlet for one of the generators, but I'm not quite sure. These are filters that are supposed to take out, radioactive stuff. So, but as I understood it, these would only been in place if, in an emergency. But
Right.
Again, that's only some of it's my guesswork.
Was it designed to be accessible from inside so that this was a sealed area then, and this would have still been safe to go into from a radioactivity point of view?
Well, not really, because
No.
if you come round here, you'll see that the generator blocks, the rooms are venting directly out into the air.
Ah, right, yeah.
So I don't think they would have been
Safe, yeah.
Not the rooms.
Mm.
I think from looking at this setup, that the generators themselves wouldn't obviously tolerate polluted air. That's my guess.
Mm. Yeah.
I think they were pretty much protecting the generators, possibly not the people.
Right.
That would have had to go in there.
I see, yeah.
That's just an emergency exit to the
Generators.
In the past, people have broken in here because this was done about 3 years ago, a new door.
Right.
Because the old door had got so that people could break in through here.
Okay. Yeah.
But the other quite interesting thing is that the two original generators were Dove Meadows.
Right.
And Meadows generators. But the new one they've put in was put in the 80s. And you can see to get it in and out, the old one out, they opened up the wall here.
Right.
Because this is all new brickwork. This is all new.
Ah.
So to get the old generator out and the new one in, they had to take out this massive section of the wall.
Right, okay.
And when they put the new generator in, that one's just the one new generator is twice as powerful as the one that came out.
Yeah.
And so they had to put in a new oil tank then to feed it.
Yeah. So that's an underground oil tank, is it?
Yes.
I see, okay.
Yeah. But interestingly, when I've investigated that, it's full of water.
Ah.
And I had some people come down to check these tanks, and their theory was that they, until a tank was commissioned, they would keep it full of water, so that you didn't get any other pollution in there. But I'm not wholly conversant with how generators and oil tanks work.
Right, okay, thanks. Ooh.
And the other interesting thing is these two were the original oil tanks that supplied the generator.
Yep.
And it's only enough, there was enough oil to last for around 30 days.
Right. So that would have been it then?
Yep.
30 days underground.
And people often say, well, isn't it ridiculous? You've got that bunker, the generators that are supplying the electricity are surface mounted.
Yeah.
So they say, well, what would happen if they were bombed and blown up? Then they'd have all been knackered in there anyway.
Yes, yeah, that's true. This is the battery room. Heard about earlier on, so let's go and have a quick look in here. So little battery unit. Shame they didn't keep them topped up. They probably would still work otherwise. Becoming a bit corroded now because of not being kept charged. So we've got machine room here, bits and pieces, and there's some of the high voltage cable that's coming in, and above this end is the room that we saw that had the supply, the amp supplies. So not too much in this room. The end of the bunker. This would have been the telephone room. You'd have had the telephone switchboard here. Switchboard here. The broadcast room, in this room here. Onto the mezzanine. Oh, hello. Have you been digging around? Yeah, you've been going all the places you're not supposed to go, is it? Yes.
It's not very nice down there.
Oh.
Oh, who is this, folks? This is Secret Vault.
Hello.
How are you doing, folks? Check his description. In the description, supposed to be a channel. Check it out.
You never guess what? You know the chap who took us round?
Yeah.
He was saying, "Oh, where'd you come from?" I said, "Wiltshire." And he says, "Oh, that's the Chilmark bunker with the cannabis." And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I saw this good video, and it was just like, you know, they went down there, it looked really spooky, and it was like, that's my video." So he's actually seen my video, and then he said, "Oh, there was a drone video, like of it all done out." And I said, "That's my drone video." So so the guy here had seen the video, so he's probably seen your videos as well.
Yeah, it's a small world.
It is a small world, yeah. So
crazy, folks. Well, check his channel out, folks. Indeed.
Yes.
Right, that's quite bright there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Especially when the lights are on here, you're still using it. Did you just come out from up there and not realise it was still on?
No, I haven't had that on as well.
I was just saying that the guy who runs this place has actually seen my videos. I was just telling Ian from IKS Exploring then that he's actually seen my video of Chilmark, which was quite surprising. But yeah. It wants to start, but not quite. Not quite.
You have to open it from that side. I can't.
It's quite interesting. These are the floors that lift up to be able to put a lot of equipment and stuff underneath. And this mezzanine floor interests me because this is where they would have had the control room, and they would have looked down on the boards. We saw it earlier on, but they've actually put this floor in now, so they've actually floored above it. And if we go up the stairs, this is a bit we didn't see earlier on, but this would have been the look down onto the floor beneath, but got turned into a few other rooms. So this would have actually looked down onto the maps and the control board, where they had the people, the infamous ladies with their pushing rods, pushing the aircraft and various other things around on a board. It's now been turned into these rooms. So it's quite fascinating what they've done, and you wouldn't really know that this is a false floor. Feels pretty secure. So yeah, and a little room in here, and of course we're on the lower floor, so there's still a floor above us again. Here we are, look. Oops. Op Tactical UK. Interesting. Now this is curious. There's a little... What is that? Is that a bell? This is a light. I don't know. Mystery object. Mystery objects. We like mystery objects. Yeah. Control room. This would have been one of the most important rooms in the bunker. And this is down a bit lower than other rooms. The step downs. Step down into it. I assume making it a little bit more secure. Little room here with a secure cupboard. Big key. Makes you wonder why has it got a handle on the top of it? It's like, is somebody going to try and walk off with it? It's like it's screwed in, but somebody's going to walk and take it away. I don't think so. What's this thingy up here now? Air filtration. See, this is a master controller here for normal ventilation. Or air filtration, so that's normal outdoors, or air filtration, and cancel the alarm. So, having a look in, Ian having a look in the battery room. We've already had a look in this room, but there are some areas we haven't had a look in. We could go and have a climb around. So we've seen behind this electrical equipment here, and we haven't seen upstairs. So let's just give a climb up. Whoa! Climb up into this section, and we've got some keys. Original key case. Keys for various oil tanks, air intakes, filter admin, a little micro key box there for something. Don't know what that one's for. We've got the thermometer up to 100, differential pressure in inches in water. So Fahrenheit in the middle. That little needle is still quite free actually. It's bouncing around. There he is, moving around. And this seems stuck at 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Got equipment there. Pump, water pumps. Water pumps and pipes and pressure pipes going in here to this register equipment. And over here you can see back to the compressor sections, and here we've got a walkway across. You can get down into the underneath. This would have been the heating section, I would believe. So you'd have had the heated air coming in through here. And here's another fan. And there's another fan. Quite amazing. Quite amazing. And have a look down here. Oops, daisy. Looking at some of these heating elements. Hot water going through there. Compressors and burners. These are just basically doors to protect, keep the heat in. This is off the electrical equipment, and these are like thermistors or something to bleed off some of the electric. So you'd have hot air coming out of here by the electric sort of being passed through these wires. Yeah, look, sort of, what does that do? And it says oil level, push to stop or reset. Electrical Apparatus Company of St Albans. So now we're going to climb down the old steps. Oh, let's just turn ourselves around and make safe by grabbing on. And this is where we grab on and climb down. There we go. Secret little room underneath where you can climb back up over there. We've seen inside some of these vent rooms already, but another little secret corridor down here with some equipment in it, and we've got the air intakes, so the air would have come through here, through this corridor, come through these from this side into these air filters, and would have basically been cleaned, and this is where the radiation would have got caught, and all the dirt and radiation would have got caught in these air filters. So Ooh. And we've got big steps here. Go and have a quick look. Ooh. Very awkward to climb. Climb up this area. So I'm making the extra effort just for you to be able to climb with one hand. So if I fall, you'll now know. So, water return from cooler batteries A, B, C and D to Bodolo tank. By cooler batteries, this must mean coolers for the engines, I would imagine. So, chilled water from Bodolo tank. We've got level meters here, look. It would have gone up and down and would have operated a switch, look. So that would have been a switch system with the electric leads going through. So let them know when it was filled up or not. And if it wasn't filled up, and if it was empty, it would probably be an alarm. So you can see the rest of the room here. A little bit of a air vent coming through from there. Now, climbing down is going to be exciting. If we can do this. Can we do this with the camera? So I'm going to watch my back. One-handed steady cam. Wow. Amazing. We've looked at these compressors. We've got various bits of equipment that is no longer working. Very seized up. Very seized up. Yeah, took a bit to get that working again. And we've got the air conditioning fans in here. So the air conditioning fans in the rooms through to air chillers, air heaters, and more of the same with the air filters. Here we are, 75 kilowatt heater, and there's the burners. So you would have inside here, this would be the burner unit. So this would be nothing but flames from gas or diesel oil would be ignited in here and be producing all that heat, which would then be channeled through these to produce warmth for the bunker. So that would be your heater, 75 kilowatt. This is one of the burners. So, and that's made by Swinton of Manchester. No, it's an air washer, Cyclone air washer. So maybe they were just spraying water. That was just a water sprayer. So that would be to clean air some way then. So that's not necessarily a boiler or a burner. It's an air washer. The Cyclone air washer. Okay, fair enough. Maybe I got that wrong then. Maybe it wasn't a boiler. or a burner. But so yes, I'm told I've got encyclopedic knowledge of these things. It's not true at all, I'm just guessing. But so here you have electric switches, electric relays, solenoid relay systems. So these are solenoids that would have switched on and switched off to operate certain parts of the equipment. Your drips getting in somewhere. Air intakes. Little storeroom. Store cupboard. Now, I would be careful in here because there's high voltage cables and you hope that everything is still not connected, but you can't always be sure, so I'm not going to touch anything. But you've got switch room stuff here. Plant room power. I can hear hum, but it's probably from the lights above us. I mean, just look at the power switching equipment here. It's frightening. Frightening. Frightening, frightening. Look at this stuff in here. Look at this. Ugh. Look at this. It's off. It's off at the moment. You grab onto the handle and push to turn on. So and we've got another battery backup system here. There's batteries in there. A charging circuit here for emergencies, for lighting probably for this room, so people could see how to turn on the main generators. But you know, you've got your amperes again here, and here, and here, and a big old transformer there. And that says it's a transformer from Watford, England. Class H transformer. And that's how hot it is. That's how hot the transformer's getting, how much work it's doing. I believe they used to fill these transformers with oil. So that would be connected into the oil supply. a nice interesting little switch, look, with a little light. That's very vintage. So tempting to sort of grab these and try and switch them, but because there is power coming into this place, it might not be a good idea, because you don't know whether or not some of this might still be connected through. So not a good idea. I'm not going to do that today. And somebody smashed the key box. It says engine control keys. And some nice coloured lights. Status lights. Yeah. Look at that there. That gives me nightmares. High voltage wires like that just coming in and just chewed off. Yuck. Don't like the look of that.
It's the same ventilation and stuff in there. Dumpy. Yeah.
Somebody up there.
Cold War. 1980s probably.
Ian's up the top somewhere. See if we can find them. Good old-fashioned wartime steps, these rubber on these. Classic. Hello. I can hear Ian. He's somewhere. I was surprised you didn't go all the way to the end, because there's a ladder that goes down to the ground floor. Yeah, all the way, because I could hear you.
All right.
Yeah. Oh wow. Look at them. They don't mess about.
Hit my head a few times.
Oh dear.
Just head back to the light fitting.
Head the light fitting and the concrete wall.
Yeah.
Right, we've got the keys to the car, because I'm going to get a drink right now. Cheers, just leave that there.
I was going to put the lid back.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Cheers.
Really dehydrated now.
So if you want to see down this area...
Are you going down there? Sorry.
No, if you want to see down this area, you'll have to watch IKS's video.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out, folks.
Check it out.
Thanks. Hopefully it doesn't hit.
Like, subscribe, and buy the merch.
That's it. Right.
They've got merch now, guys.
Yeah, put it under.
Yeah.
Under there somewhere.
Don't
Yeah.
No.
Just leave it there, I'll be back.
Found a piano.
Oh yeah, I heard. Yeah, I could hear somebody playing.
There's some random stuff.
Yeah, there is some random stuff.
This is the key room. I haven't had a look in yet.
So I couldn't walk around. There's some small rooms out there.
Feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, all the different keys attached. Rather than putting a number on them like that, they kind of just put it in this weird set up like that. You'd expect it to just have a number like that. Keybox DE. BBC keys or locks. Yeah.
We sell gun cabinets to scats or that, but they have to be proper gun cabinet.
They would have probably had guns in here somewhere to shoot the people that weren't, you know, behaving well. Didn't know how to take orders. Shoot him in the head. Oh, not been in this one before. Funny little drawing on a television and awards. Lincoln Combined Driving One-Day Event 1974. UK OBA 1977, First Lady. Coupe Jean-Louis Toluer. Was it Toury? Coupe Jean-Louis Toury. 6 years to Paris, 1963. Oh, sorry. I thought that was somebody's ashes then in there. I thought that could have been his address, like please return this gentleman's ashes to this address. Died in 1963, but there we are. Ooh. And unknown. So it's ladies' toilets. We haven't been in the ladies' toilets yet. Wouldn't want to leave this undone. Now look, strange stickers everywhere, and a approved by Her Majesty ER sanitary incinerator. Yeah, sanitary incinerator, folks. Yeah. You can hear its timing. It's got a timer mechanism for heating it up, and a pipe to get rid of any noxious odours. It's amazing, isn't it? They used to incinerate sanitary products immediately. They must be burnt. Burn it with fire. You should not put them in bags and put them in the waste. It must be burnt. This is kind of like, you know, some sort of like witchcraft, isn't it? It's like burn it. Burn the sanitary product. Burn it. Burn it. Her Majesty says burn it. It's something like something you'd get from, I don't know, some... it seems rather backwards these days, doesn't it? It was only 900 watts. So it used to burn it with 900 watts. It says when the red lamp indicates mains is working and the green lamp says the element is now working. There we are. Ugh. It's quite mad, really, isn't it? It's quite mad. People used to use that stuff. Yeah. There's the ladies' toilets. And here's the ladies' sinks. And here's Her Majesty herself. Yes. And here's the pump we were told about. There's a pump in here that if the main drinking water pump, which was chlorinated water, and they had a big tank down the bottom, if that failed and it didn't supply water up here, then this secondary secondary reservoir outside would be used, but it had to be pumped up here. So this was the pump that would draw it from outside up, because the main system had its own pump, but this was the fallback pump, and only some of the taps in here would then operate, because if the main pump failed, some of these wouldn't work. So there we are. This was the clean water. This was the main drinking water from the main system, and if that failed and the tap stopped working, this pump would kick in, this pump back here, and then these would work, but these were not drinking water, so you have to boil those up. So that would only be for washing your hands, but not for ingestion. So there we go. And just in case you're bored down here, you can watch Digimon. Lots of cardboard boxes in here. I was expecting it to be cardboard coffins really, but no, just cardboard boxes. Self-assemble. And I think that's about as much time as we've got on my memory cards. So let's have a quick look in here. GPO power room. Yeah. Power room. I think we've pretty much done the rest of it. So
I didn't see
I don't think we've been in here. Let's have a quick look at what we got in this room. Got a safe. Big old safe. It's got some keys in it. Actually see the safe mechanism in this as well. It's been off the back. Are they getting ready to go?
I don't know.
Oh right, yes.
That was the safe that I found all the paperwork in.
Ah right. So it's got some. It's been drilled out by the looks, isn't it? Yeah.
We didn't have it never. Even the previous owners never had a key. So I found a safe engineer who came out and he drilled a hole there to start with.
All right.
Put a camera in.
Yeah.
To have a look to see if there was anything in it.
Do you think the military were supposed to leave these documents behind, or maybe they lost the key themselves, or?
I think the documents were mainly from the 1960s, 70s. So maybe they forgot it, or it was left. It was perhaps pretty much out of date.
Yeah.
But they did have all the, interestingly, they had all the door cards.
Oh right.
And a plan of which governmental department went in which rooms.
Right, I see.
Which was essential for me, because researching the history.
Told you how it worked out.
Yeah, because before that I didn't have a, you had all these rooms, but I didn't have a clue who was going to go into which room.
Smoke extract system. Ooh. And I did mention that Chris here has actually seen one of my videos, so yes. Yeah. So he's actually watched The Secret Vault and he didn't even know. Yes. We're going to get him as a subscriber now. I think he'll probably...
Very good film though.
Oh, there we are, you see, of Chill Mark.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Yeah. And he commented about my quality drone footage afterwards, showing how it's transformed. The Chilmark site has now been rendered back from being a jungle undergrowth to being a quite respectable bunker again.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. Very well done.
Without you in it.
These, if you look on some of the bunkers that are open to the public,
I remember this.
they put an extension on the top, and apparently it's because the fire brigade used to train here, but I was told that when the fire brigade went into one of these similar bunkers, and there was an accident, and one of the firemen toppled over the top because it was pitch black and there was sort of smoke and what have you. So these don't actually pass current legislation for,
I can imagine.
For safety rails, because somebody tore them, and apparently they pitched over.
That's high enough to kill you, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's high enough to kill you.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, you're paralysed or dead.
Yeah, no, that's horrible.
Well, access one down there.
Sorry?
Oh, so there's no access before.
Yeah. Unless you've got your lip caught on that hook there, and it might break before a bit.
Yeah, it's what they're thinking about. But these are the sorts of things that if you open it up to the public,
I know they have to take into consideration.
Yeah.
It's like Calvin, they have to cut a hole in the wall to allow an access because all the motor escapes. Because all the motor escapes are ladders, I think.
Yeah.
So unfortunately a fireman fell off here.
Not this particular.
No, not this bunker. Oh right, a similar one.
A similar one because this is the original height handrail,
Yeah.
and now it doesn't pass the current legislation.
So did that actually drop down crates then, big massive pallets?
No, as I understood it, all the radar equipment that would have been in here, and possibly some of the equipment that was in the plant room.
Yeah.
All those heavy motors and stuff. This is the only way they've got getting, because there's some of the stuff they couldn't physically manhandle it.
Does this work by any chance?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
Could we see it for a second?
Yeah.
It'd just be a fascinating thing to see it actually going up and down.
So it's wooden crates and stuff outside in the airfield, the crates ain't nothing to do with this.
There we go. There we go, folks. Still works.
Right, jump on, lower down.
Do you know what I was thinking? You need the giant teddies down the bottom.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah, with the claw thing. Yeah. I actually want to make one of them.
Put a little cage and give people rides up and down.
I'm going to build my own claw machine. Fill it with sweets.
Great
I
stuff.
think anything.
Go on the floor.
Go on then. I'll film you if you investigate it. Do you want to get in?
It's nice on the one side, but it's blowing a hoolie onto the side.
Yeah.
What's that actually?
Up into
Yeah, skilled
like a joiner.
person,
Yeah, it's not none of this knock up quick. It's, I mean, nowadays, why would I want you to put metal strips around there? Just better wood down, bang.
Brass ones and that.
That's just to protect the edges so the wood doesn't get smashed up when you're climbing in and out.
But things like this, the detail.
Yeah, it makes it last.
Like there used to be, I've never seen them, but there used to be a set of doors here.
Yeah. Must have been a set, because they quite often had more than one set of blast doors, didn't they, at angles?
Yeah, I don't think these were blast doors. I think they, looking at the fixings, they were
smaller
pair of
ones,
doors like that.
That makes sense.
So when you come in and you want to turn the power on, that's your main thing. That turns every light on in the whole bunker.
Because I was going to ask that question. Do you have to go around and turn all the light switches on?
Yeah.
But interestingly, when the people broke in, they interfered with in that room we were in downstairs with all the electrical equipment in. Well, there's those sorts of boxes are in there as well, and they'd switch one of those off. And so when I came up here to switch that on, even though I switched it on, nothing happened. And by that time, I'd got the police here.
I mean, I was looking in that room and I could hear buzzing. I assumed it was from the light, but it looked like, could still have some. So that was the end of my memory card. And Chris did actually say that the room I was scared about the electric was live, and that part of the electric system that he had there, the main power in, was in fact routed through that room at the end. So playing with those fuse boxes would have affected different parts of the bunker having lights and power on and off. So it's a very good thing I didn't actually play with that, and nobody else did either. But one final thing is to see the lights turned off. Now, I switched over to my mobile phone for this because I thought it was quite important that we catch this on the way out. So one final piece of footage. Run out of a memory card and you're now forced to use your telephone, and you can film the chap with his hand on the control, turning the lights off. And that's it. Good night. And just one final piece. Christopher Howell, who gave us the very informative tour there and really did go the extra mile to show us around. So thanks very much, Chris. He's got this book which he's written, which is for the RAF Bolthead and the ancillary building. So I'm not going to sort of show you too much because obviously you need to buy the book, but it's got lots of information about old buildings which used to be here at the bunker, and people that had worked at the bunker, and different aircraft that were stationed at the bunker. And there's even a map of the old-fashioned runway layout, and people who used to work here, little sort of explanations of some of the people who used to work in the area, type of guns, radar equipment, rotor stations, other rotor stations around the UK. So it's a very informative little book, and some of the radar rooms, this is, I believe, one of the control rooms. So I'll hopefully get a better photo of that, but that's one of the control rooms that was actually in use. So that's a real photo one, and this is a real radar that was here. So I don't want to show you too much of the book because you have to buy it. So flick, 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 flick. And if you want to see a close-up of the actual layout of the bunker, you'll have to buy the book. So contact Christopher Howell. Details are in the description. And maybe you can arrange to go and see the bunker yourself. But this kind of video is obviously very detailed for people who can't get to the UK and are watching from abroad. So, if there's any way you can help support the bunker or Christopher's research, if you've also got photos or perhaps even cine footage, early footage of the bunker in operation, that would be absolutely superb to see. And Chris would really like to hear from you if you've got that sort of stuff. So do get in touch with either me or Chris, and if you get in touch with me, I will pass your messages on to Chris. So thanks very much for watching.